Green Lantern Earth 1 Volume 2 finally dropped in my mailbox. I was super excited to read it, and now I'm super excited to talk about it with you. Did you get the chance this week to read Green Lantern Earth 1 Volume 2? If so, what did you think? Let's talk about that in the comments. Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and this is my spoiler-free review for Green Lantern Earth 1 Volume 2. Slight spoilers ahead for Volume 1, but for Volume 2, I'm doing spoiler-free because I'm dropping this video the same week that the graphic novel was released. So if you read Volume 1 and you really liked it, is Volume 2 good? Is it disappointing? Or does it live up and carry things to the next level? Oh, I think it's good, and I definitely think it lives up and carries things to the next level. I'm giving this graphic novel a solid A. The first one still has a slight edge for me, but only a slight edge, because overall, I found this story very compelling. It did the typical Earth 1 thing that the Earth 1 series has been doing, taking characters that we're familiar with, DC lore that we know pretty well, and putting a unique spin on it. So it's like we're reading something different. And yet again, with the Yellow Lanterns and other concepts in this graphic novel, it really did do a great job with all of that. And it took Hal Jordan to that next level, and it left me wanting Volume 3. I ended this graphic novel excited about what is coming next. Now, if I had to say there was a disappointment when I was reading this graphic novel, the disappointment was this. I wanted to know more about what is going on Earth. They've actually done a good job making Earth very interesting in this series. I mean, in Volume 1, it leaves you with these like dictator vibes. You know, you get a quick line that they're under a one-party system. You see the billboard with Colonel Jask, who is called a general in this one. And so you get these definite vibes that it's not our Earth. On top of the fact that technologically it's different. I mean, the fact that Ferris Air is Ferris Galactic, and they send ships out to the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter to mine the asteroids. So right there, this Earth is a little bit more sci-fi than our Earth. Some bad things happened in Volume 1, and some bad people used those things to take power. And I was very curious to know, what did that mean? And I wanted to get more into that. So yes, Volume 2 takes you a layer deeper. You get to learn a little bit more about this nebulous global central power structure that they have going on, but it leaves it overall pretty nebulous. It leaves it all pretty mysterious, and it spends more time on the space stuff, which is still cool. They did a great job with all of that, but I was so curious about that, and I was just a little bit disappointed I didn't get more about what was going on with planet Earth's government. So if it continues this pattern, it'll be okay, because Volume 1, it established it's different. Volume 2, we dug a layer deeper, and if Volume 3, we go another layer deeper still, and more gets revealed, and we continue in that pattern, I'll be okay with that. But I just, for this particular graphic novel, I was reading it, I was like, this is all so good, but I want to know more about Earth. I want to know more about what is going on there. So there was a little bit of that I felt like I was missing and that I wanted, and it's very cool as they deal with the Earth's relationship to Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps and the Earth's knowledge now that they are not alone in the universe. So I think they do interesting, compelling things in that, but I wanted to know a little bit more about what is going on with the government there. The other thing that I thought was well done was the whole plot with the Yellow Lanterns. And I like where Volume 1 left off with that, because what you really saw at the end of Volume 1 was the sole surviving Guardian. And the sole surviving Guardian perfected what he did with the Green Lanterns by making the Yellow Lantern. So you knew by the way it ended we were going to get Yellow Lanterns. You also know by the way it ended that Guardian's a jerk. I mean, seriously, his plan in Volume 1 to get the Green Lanterns out of the way and the Manhunters out of the way was to have the Green Lanterns all point their rings at the central power battery to create this feedback loop that would destroy Oa, which unfortunately would destroy all of the innocent slaves, but the Guardian didn't care. It would destroy the Manhunters. Cool, he cared about that. But it would have also killed the Green Lanterns. So we get a little bit more into the Guardian in this one. And we get more into his motivation as to why he wanted that, where he's been, and exactly why he created the Yellow Lanterns. And so getting into his motivations and getting into his mind and why he did these things, I feel like it makes this Guardian a very interesting character and a very interesting villain. It's also interesting how the introduction of the Yellow Lanterns upsets the balance in Hal Jordan's life as a Green Lantern. because they show that the Yellow Lantern power, it's just way more powerful than the Green Lanterns. Like, they do a good job expressing that, showing that, kind of showing even the Green Lanterns like, huh, wow. So there's a very real temptation there for them to take hold of those Yellow Lantern rings. But Hal just doesn't trust this Guardian at all. He doesn't trust the giver of the rings or the motivation for the rings being given. And so this causes a little bit of upset of balance in his world, like between him and Kilowog and some of the other lanterns. So it's interesting as this new power gets introduced, the temptation that it creates, and kind of how the Green Lantern Corps responds to it. And it's, to me, all of that was really interesting. Plus, it's hard because I don't want to say more, but that Earth One spin that they put on things, they did a great job with that, with the Yellow Lantern Corps, and that whole storyline I found very, very compelling. Also very compelling was the character of John Stewart. Here's where I really can't say much else, but it was just a very cool introduction to him as a character. I really liked him as a character, and the way it left off with him, I am anxious to see where is it gonna go. So it was very cool to get the Earth One twist on all of those various things. And like I said, after reading through this whole thing, I now want Volume 3. I am loving the unique take that it has on the Green Lantern Corps, on the Yellow Lantern Corps, on this sole surviving Guardian. He was a really good villain for this sequel. So there's a lot of things that I'm interested in, that I find compelling, and I can't wait for the third volume. So if you read Green Lantern Earth 1 Volume 2, what do you think of the fact I gave it an A? Would you go higher? Would you go lower? Would you stay the same? What did you think of Volume 2? Let's talk about that in the comments. And while you're there, hit that subscribe button to become a Durbanian. Hit that bell by the subscribe button so you're notified from my next movie review, theological analysis, graphic novel review, or anything else I do here. I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbania.